Yes, get ready for the legal dictation containing 720 words for Rajasthan High Court JPA exam. 3, 2, 1, start. The subject matter of challenge in these appeals is the final judgment and order dated 20th December 2011 passed by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in the different letters patent appeals filed by the appellants herein. The first civil appeal arising out of SLP number 54 of 2012 has been filed by the Speaker of the Haryana Vidhan Sabha against the judgment and order passed by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in his letters patent appeal number 366 of 2011. By the said judgment, the division bench not only dismissed the appeal and did not choose to interfere with the directions given by the learned single judge to the speaker to decide the petitions for disqualification of 5 MLAs within a period of 4 months, but in addition directed that pending such decision, the 5 MLAs in question would stand disqualified from effectively functioning as members of the Haryana Vidhan Sabha, aggrieved by the interim directions purportedly given under Order 41, Rule 33 of the Code of Civil Procedure. The Speaker filed SLP number 54 of 2012 challenging the same. The other three special leave petitions were filed by the 5 MLAs who were prevented from performing their functions as members of the assembly by the directions contained in the impugned judgment. While SLP number 55 of 2012 was filed by Narendra Singh and another SLP numbers 59 of 2012 were filed by Dharam Singh and another, and Jile Ram Sarma being aggrieved by the impugned judgment and order for the same reasons as contained in the special leave petition filed by Narendra Singh and another. The focal point of challenge in all these appeals, therefore, is the orders passed by the division bench of the Punjab and Haryana High Court while disposing of the latter's patent appeals prevented the 5 named MLAs who are also appellant before us from effectively discharging their functions as members of the Vidhan Sabha. The facts narrated above give rise to the following substantial questions of law of public importance, namely whether the High Court, in exercise of its powers under Articles 226 and 227 of the Constitution, has the jurisdiction to issue directions to a member under the Constitution, whether even in exercise of its powers of judicial review, the High Court as a constitutional authority can issue mandatory directions to the Speaker of a state assembly, who is himself a constitutional authority, to dispose of a qualification oblique disqualification petition within a specified time. Can the High Court, in its writ jurisdiction, interfere with the disqualification proceedings pending before the Speaker and pass an order temporarily disqualifying a member of the State Legislative Assembly, despite the law laid down by the court in Chandra Kumar versus Union of India to the contrary? When a disqualification petition filed under Article 191 read with the 10th schedule to the Constitution of India is pending consideration before the Speaker, can a parallel writ petition seeking the same relief be proceeded with simultaneously? And did the High Court have jurisdiction to give directions under Order 41, Rule 33 of the Code of Civil Procedure, despite the express bar contained in the explanation to Section 141 of the Code of Civil Procedure in proceedings under Article 226 of the Constitution, in order to provide the peg on which the above questions are to be hung? It is necessary to understand the background in which such substantial questions of law have arisen. The 12th Legislative Assembly elections in Haryana were held on 13th October 2009. After the results of the elections, the Indian National Congress Party, hereinafter referred to as the INC, emerged as the single largest party, having won in 40 out of the 90 seats in the assembly. Since it was short of an absolute majority, the INC formed the government in collaboration with 7 independents and 1 MLA from the Bahujan Samaj Party. Subsequently, on 9th November 2009, 4 legislative members of the Haryana Janhit Congress Party, hereinafter referred to as the HJC, wrote to the Speaker, "Stop. Yes, get ready for the general matter dictation containing 720 words at the same speed. 3, 2, 1, start. When we analyzed why the coir industry in the country was not further developing, we found that unless we produced better goods for export, there could be no further improvement. This is an industry in which 92% of the products are exported, and the domestic consumption by nature of things is of a limited quantity. So, when market surveys of foreign countries were made, we were convinced that mechanization as a part of this industry should be introduced, so that in a gradual manner we could produce better goods acceptable to the sophisticated markets of the world. We had a tripartite meeting of all the interests in Kerala, particularly the government of Kerala, the representatives of labor and industry engaged in choir and the central government, and it was felt that gradual mechanization, particularly of the weaving sector and the finishing sector, would gradually assist the further development and progress of this industry. Particularly in Kerala, this is the basic industry giving employment to more than nearly a million people. We therefore decided that the choir board that the government of India has set up should endeavor to assist the people to establish such factories and also establish factories itself if entrepreneurs were not easily forthcoming. Therefore, Madam, the Act as it is today is being amended to provide for delegating powers to the choir board to enable them to set up a mechanized factory in the public sector to demonstrate the utility of new types of fabrics to the rest of the industry. A question would naturally be asked in the House why our entrepreneurs are not being allowed to do so. The Act does not prevent it. On the contrary, the choir board is being empowered to promote even the establishment of mechanized finishing and weaving factories in the private sector if private entrepreneurs come forward. But looking to the nature of the industry and the entrepreneur class engaged in this industry, we have found that in the last few years, not many entrepreneurs have been coming forward, and we would like to establish one of the most modern model factories which can produce the latest type of goods. The amendment as proposed in the bill has been placed before the House. We are convinced from our technical surveys that we will not be able to stand in competition with the rest of the world. As the House is aware, Madam, there are other competing countries in the world which compete with us in choir products. Malaysia and Sri Lanka are our foremost competitors. But as a result of the persistent effort of the choir board and the government of Kerala in India, we have been able to have the highest percentage of utilization of the husk of choir than any other competing countries. We, Madam, utilize more than 35% of the choir husk, whereas Indonesia and Malaysia utilize less than 12% and Sri Lanka less than 8%. It is our endeavor that furthermore utilization of a higher percentage of choir husk should also be attempted. It may therefore be looking like a contradiction in terms that when mechanization takes place, there will be unemployment. This might be a question generally asked because Kerala is a state where unemployment is a major problem. But, madam, the experience that we have in other industries is that all mechanization does not lead to less employment. As a matter of fact, we can produce more goods and sell more goods. The overall employment in this sector might go up rather than go down. Even if it is pure substitution, as we have calculated, not more than 1500 people in all out of the million people, as I mentioned, are likely to be displaced. But our hopes are that not only these 1500 people will not be displaced, but we might be able to provide additional employment as a result of larger and larger utilization of the husk and better production of the goods and larger sales and marketing of these products. That way, we might be able to increase some employment in the long run. Therefore, madam, here we have mentioned that amendment in the bill. Another amendment that has been sought to be provided. Stop over.